Hi, my name is Jayden. Today I'll be showing you how to make a phone case. This phone case is going to have aesthetic wooden buttons and a magnetic mount for your car dashboard. The first step, making a vacuum former.
I built the vacuum former out of plywood and 2x4s with the help of my friends Scott and Tade. We then covered all the cracks and screw holes with duct tape, ensuring a tight seal. After some technical difficulties with the staple hammer, I managed to attach a piece of 16th inch thick ABS sheet to a frame and stuck it in the oven at 340 degrees. In a last second stroke of genius, I turned on the overhead fan, which almost makes up for my lack of oven mitts. While waiting for the plastic to heat up, I set up my phone mold on the vacuum former, elevating it so that the plastic wraps around the edges of the phone. Once the plastic sheet softened enough to sag about an inch below the frame, I took it out of the oven and gently placed it over the mold while Tade turned on the vacuum. The process worked better than I could have imagined, resulting in a plastic shell perfectly forming to the phone. After removing the plastic shell, it's time to trim it. I used scissors to remove enough material to get the phone out, then continued touching up the edges. I went a bit too far in some spots and would recommend being more careful or sketching guidelines before cutting. The next step is to cut out holes for the camera and buttons, which I did using a box cutter. I then sanded down the edges for a smooth feel in the hand. I whittled the buttons out of a piece of oak, repeatedly checking against the holes in the case to make sure they fit perfectly. The key is to make sure the edges are thin enough so that they can slot under the shell without depressing the button. The last piece of the puzzle is the magnet for the back. Since I wanted a fun and aesthetic shape, I made a stamp out of sheet metal and filed down the edges, making them sharp enough to shear through a piece of magnetic tape. To stamp out my shape, I simply placed the stamp on top of a strip of magnetic tape and hit it a few times with the hammer, slicing right through. After sticking it to the back of the ABS shell, it's all done. Looks pretty good, right? Not only will this case protect my phone from getting shattered more than it already is, it's also slim, feels good in the hand, and sticks perfectly to a magnetic mount. This will make getting directions while driving much safer.